Hello, buddy. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with my best friend, David. He's my best friend, but I don't know if I'm his best friend or not. He's never told me before.
At our age, what is a best friend?
I don't know. I mean, I get jealous. I'm sorry. What can I say? But we've known each other. We've known each other for a long time, though. And when we were neighbors, we didn't really talk much, though, did we?
No, we didn't, and I thought vlogging was really weird.
Yeah, you did. Because I asked him one time. I said, "Oh, I got a YouTube channel." And I said, "You said no, I'm a private person."
That's true.
Yeah.
It's still true, but here I am.
I know. Well, I gave you a beer. That's why.
You perverted me. What can I say?
So anyway, I want to talk about your trip you just went on, but I want to just refresh everybody's memory. How long have you been in the Philippines approximately living here?
I say off and on about 14 years.
Well, it's a long time, yeah.
And that's mainly in Manila, Mindoro, Masbate, and now here in Dumaguete.
And so, do you think, you've been around the Philippines a lot more than I have. Do you think you'll stay in this area? Are you happy with it, or do you think there's someplace else you'd like better?
I like Dumaguete as a mix of, foreigners to talk to, foreign food, and also beautiful nature right nearby. It's a big island without much development. I do sometimes think that I want to maybe go to Thailand, not for the obvious reason, but more for just the better organization, the really great food, get a condo, go down and walk along Jomtien or somewhere like that along the waterfront, come back, all this wonderful street food,
Yeah, the infrastructure there.
Yeah, just to go somewhere that's well organized, clean, with really good food everywhere that's not expensive, just for a break.
Yeah.
I'm okay here, but it does. There are some things that are.
Well, I've had people say that in the Philippines, like the reason things are so expensive, like rent and stuff, is because it's a developing country.
You mean inexpensive?
Inexpensive, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, inexpensive. And if all of a sudden they change the laws and all these businesses start coming in here that, it's going to raise the price of rent and raise the price of everything. And I think the argument against that is Thailand. I mean, Thailand's very successful, and it's got all kinds of businesses over there. But from my understanding, say you've got $300 a month budget for your rent, and if you're in the Philippines or Thailand, I think you can get a nicer apartment in Thailand for $300 than you can here.
Depends where you are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're anywhere in the big city, that isn't going to work. But if you're out to the edge a little bit, you can get something nice for that. If you're willing to look. I mean, the thing that's different is, they're paying about the same for concrete and steel, pretty close as they are in the U.S. and everything else. But what they're not paying for is massive insurance costs. And labor is not that expensive, right? So a lot of the costs that are built into the Western world, they're not built into the Asian world. Like if you're taking a bus, the fuel is more expensive or comparable to the U.S. The bus is probably similar to models Chinese buses. Everything's the same, except the bus driver is getting peanuts, and the mechanics that are working on it are getting peanuts. There's like hardly any insurance on anything.
Yeah.
So it's all running a lot closer to the bone, right?
Their profit margin's higher than.
What's that?
Their profit margin is higher.
Yeah, it probably is, or comparable. But I mean, we've loaded ourselves up in the West with all these hidden charges, right?
Yeah. And regulations.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, and mandates or taxes or whatever. And so you've got this massive chunk of costs, and then you put the actual cost of everything on top, right? So
Do you think it's easier to start a business in Thailand or in the Philippines?
I know nothing about that.
I don't either.
I've really never talked to anybody that knows, and I haven't done it. So.
Now you've bought property and built stuff over here, over the years, and dabbled in businesses and stuff. Do you think that the Philippines is a good investment? Like if you were just going to buy raw land, would you think this would be a country where you would buy raw land?
No.
No. Why?
Things don't. We're used to the title being clean on everything, clear. I buy this, I have title to it.
Right.
It can be looked up, it can't be challenged. You don't have that here. You also have a lot of bad blood disputes over land, right?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
You know, you may buy a property and your neighbor may not like you and you'll have some dispute and you'll have an enemy for life after that. But anyway, I just don't think this is a good place to invest for, you know, I know you have successful friends who have invested, and I've met people who've made.
Well, I've had both ways.
Yeah,
both
people who
ways.
made money here.
I've had people that lost a lot of money too.
Yeah, it's just very hard. The average person doesn't have that much money, so then you have to either go after expats or wealthy Filipinos, and then, you know, what are you really bringing to the table? I think the best business, small business here, a baking business or like a chicken business or whatever. If you have a wife or a girlfriend that wants a business in food, make cookies, make pies, make baked goods, or make chicken and rice, whatever. And if you want a little bit more of an established type of business, then do a block of apartments, or even better yet, put up a boarding house next to a school. You put 8 to a room, you know, they're all paying $50 a month or whatever it is, or less, maybe $30 a month. Low maintenance, you got one guy out in front that you're paying $10 a day. You know, that's it. That would be it. If I was going to invest in anything, I would invest in a boarding.
Well, I'm thinking more or less like, do you think that property value is going to go up here? That it's a good investment to come in and buy like a big chunk of land on the beach or a view of the mountains or something like that as an investment?
Well, but I mean, like, you have the same problem everywhere. You don't know if it's actually going to take off or not. I mean, I bought 11,000 square meters of 1.1 hectares on the beach. It was covered with thorn bushes that would like tear you apart all along the water, and then there were probably 15 huge termite mounds on the property, and that all had to be cleared. Of course, there's a white sand beach on one side with a marine sanctuary and the main road. So now, once we did that,
You increase the value of it right there.
well, yeah, then the next properties sold for 10 times as much on either side of us. There was a master plot that had like 11 pieces of property, and we bought one of those, and there was a couple others on either side, and then it just went all the way down the beach. So it's little resort, wealthy person, whatever, and so all that property went up.
Well, that's really
10.
interesting that there could be opportunities for somebody that finds a piece of property like yours that has thorn trees on it and all this other stuff, but it's got that
Look
beautiful.
at the beach.
Yeah, it's got the beautiful
Yeah.
beach,
Yeah.
not the rocky beach that you see
There's
sometimes.
a place, I think it's called Coyote Island or something like that, near Boracay. It's kind of like that. There's no real development. You always have to have some basic development. People have to be able to get there, right?
Yeah.
But then if you see that that's sort of happening, maybe there's a port or there's an airport, whatever, and you see like, you know, a kilometer, half of, whatever, 500 meters of white sand beach, and behind it is something okay, and you know you can get water, and you can get that for a song, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But will it ever go and become something huge? We don't know. Right?
Well, you've been here, 14, 15 years, so.
Off and on.
Off and on, but have you seen the values of land go up? Like, for example, your property,
Well,
is it gone up since you bought it, or that area, or is
Yeah,
it?
well, so it went from 80 pesos per square meter to 800 or 1,000, just
Okay.
on the other ones being bought around it.
Wow.
Now it's a going resort on the beach. And so it's a day resort basically with a few houses. It's doing well. I don't know what the properties are worth. Who knows? Where would you look to find out? There's no,
Yeah, there's no Zillow. Yeah.
there's nothing like that in the Philippines. But if you were thinking long term, let's say you thought, hey, I've been watching Mark's videos, but I'm only 35 or something, right? And I'm right in the heart of my,
Yeah.
you know, I'm making my money right now, and I can't even imagine when I'm going to retire or whatever. But I like the idea of the Philippines. So you came over here, you'd have to found a corporation or whatever you'd have to do, and you just bought a block of land that in a really nice place. You have no idea if it's ever going to develop or not. And you did that every year for 5 or 10 years. Guarantee you one of those is going to hit, right?
But also, the property taxes are real low here, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. So you could do that sort of shotgun approach, you know, and say,
Yeah.
and people have done that. Areas in Davao or wherever, you know, they sort of, you know, it inches along, and then you say, okay, look, you know, here's where the main action is. Everybody thinks 30 kilometers down the road is too far. but look at that beautiful piece of white sand beach there or whatever, right? Those sort of, since you have all these islands and most of them are relatively undeveloped, you have those opportunities all over the Philippines, but you have to do some pretty comprehensive research.
Yeah.
And you know, the idea that you might get rich quick, that's unlikely, because then when you start developing it, you have to deal with all the problems of getting something built here and permitted. And
Well, let's say you're a guy our age who's got some money in the bank. He's going to move to the Philippines. Decided you're coming here. You're going to live here. Not married, no girlfriend yet or anything. But let's say he's got $250,000 in the bank and $3,000 a month coming in. Do you think it's a smart thing for that person to buy a house or build a house, or just keep on renting?
you know, there's no way to say. It's entirely up to the individual, obviously. We're all,
What would you do
we're,
if that was your situation?
like, if I was starting over.
Hey,
and
you were
it was
just
now-
coming over from California and you had that kind of money and money
Well,
coming in, and
I would rent, because rents are relatively cheap.
Yeah, I
And
would
the
too.
hassle of building
Yeah,
and
that-
everything, and you know, you don't ever own it even if you are married. But you know, I would want to be, if I was coming over here, I would want to spend the first, like what I did, like 3 to 5 trips exploring, you know, deciding whether you like Cebu, whether you like Manila, whether you like.
that's how I advise people to do that. If you got the
Mindoro.
money, definitely do
Yeah,
that.
just bounce around till you
Yeah.
find like a vibe, like it's a mix of, like what we have here, you know, we're down the road from Dumaguete, so we can go in there when we have to. If we don't have to, we can live in a much more relaxed setting.
Yeah, we can be at the mall. I can be at the mall in 15 minutes.
Sure, but we still have beautiful shoreline,
Yeah.
we can go down to a nice beach, you know, and you keep on going out and it gets more and more quiet. So,
Yeah.
and you still can get decent food here. So, you know, I always thought that the best thing is to be about 15 to 20 minutes or 30 minutes outside of whatever the city scene is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And, you know, I think you can do that a lot more probably in Thailand than you can in the Philippines, because there aren't that many places that are well organized in the Philippines.
They've got a lot of high-rise condos that are really nice with
Yeah.
pools and gyms and all that stuff, you know. We're starting to get that here, like down in North Point, they're building some, I think, nice
Yeah, well,
condos
that
and
area
stuff.
down there, you know,
It's booming.
they're building a mall. That's the mall. That's
I
a
saw
mall
that yesterday,
in front
yeah.
of the marina. Yeah, condos. Those condos are not nice. They're weird. They're weird designs. They're not efficiently or well designed. But that mall's going to be there, and that's going to attract a lot of business. That whole area is booming right now.
It
It's
is, yeah.
weird. You know, did you see where they built behind the North Point? There's more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something's going on back there, yeah.
It's really getting.
I've seen a lot of growth since I've been here in 5 years. We have a lot.
There's been a lot. A lot of money has come in here. A lot of people realize that, you know, perhaps this is going to be like one of the next destinations. I mean, I think that's what the
Could be.
powers that be are planning. You know what you're getting. You go to Panglao or Boracay or Malboal. It's just wall to wall. It's just, you know, tourists.
I don't really like any of those places. I've been there. I mean,
I don't
that's
either.
okay, you know.
I don't either. I
Like
liked
it
it
better.
years and years ago when I went there, and it was like a smattering of resorts along the beach with open spots, or Boracay where it was all low rise, you know. Now it's high rise. So, you know, if you're coming here a young person, you never saw it in the more sleepy times, you think, hey, this is great, man, look at all the action, all the, you know, music and everything. And so they don't realize that, you know, there was a time where it was like more chill, and from our point of view, or at least my point of view. But that's all right, that's progress.
We said there's a lot of money pouring in, and obviously there is, like the highway they rebuilt here. That must have cost millions, and the extension down the boardwalk that they did a few years ago. Where do you think the money's coming from?
Well, those projects are local government.
Oh,
Those are not private. The malls and little rows of restaurants in the North Point, and that's private money. But the infrastructure is government money.
I wonder how that works when you got 7,000 islands, how they go about distributing the money to the other islands and deciding who gets and who doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, the money, it's political, obviously.
Yeah.
The money goes up. I think all the tax money goes up to the national government. And then based on, you know, how good the governor or senator, whomever it is, it comes back down some portion of it. So a lot of time, like I remember seeing this in Mexico, and it's also true in the Philippines. You'll have a boom, like you had a boom in Boracay. Well, they never upgraded the sewer. So in America, like when a place booms, a lot of the money stays local because it's like local taxes, and local taxes,
Right.
sales tax or whatever, stays local. Here the money goes up. So the area may be, incredible, doubling the number of tourists, whatever, but the infrastructure doesn't get built because the money isn't coming back down until, in the case of Boracay, until they had a sewage problem going out into the water that was actually causing people to not want to go there. Then they've decided to solve it.
Is there a water treatment plant here? I've never seen one.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't
like
seen one.
when you and I were living up in Valencia, our water basically came out of the river, didn't it?
The water that we were washing with or drinking?
Yeah.
No, that was coming down off the mountain.
That's
That
what I
was
meant, yeah, but
Pure water. It wasn't coming out even out of the river necessarily.
like a spring or something?
Maybe. Maybe it was coming out of the river, but high up on the
Yeah, high
mountain.
up, yeah, it's
Yeah, high up on the mountain. Probably river water. You're
good
right.
water.
It was good water. It was drinkable, actually.
Yeah, no fluoride in there or chemicals or
Yeah.
chlorine or nothing.
I saw, like you alluded to my trip, and I on that
Oh,
trip.
yeah, I forgot about
It's
that.
all right. It's all right. But on the trip, I had at one point lived between Manila and Puerto Galera, Mindoro.
Yeah,
Okay, and at that time it was one of these little sleepy towns, great diving, little funky places to stay with a bunch of divers, restaurants and all that. And they came in and they decided, oh, there's a sewage problem. So the first thing they did was they built sewage to bring the sewage down from the town in various areas. They brought it all down, they collected it. So they built these concrete boxes with pipes on the beach.
oh, God.
And then they built the sewage treatment plant on the reef where the boats used to come in. There used to be a beautiful reef and there was a restaurant there. They built this thing. I used to joke about it looking like a Korean restaurant. Not that I love Korean food, but anyway. So, and then now this time when I went back, they've paved it. So they've created this really wide promenade in Sabang
Yeah,
that now covers that. So it's changed the whole character of the place, but it's a fun place to go. And then they've done the same thing that's in Sabang. Over in Puerto Galera White Beach, they've created a long promenade along this big white sand beach. And it's developed a lot. It's completely developed. They've built back behind the beach in areas that
but the sewage treatment plant is located right on the ocean?
in Sabang, yes. In
Does it
Sabang.
pump water into the ocean?
I have no idea.
It must.
They could have built it down at the end where
Yeah.
there was like a rocky beach with nothing. Instead, they put it right there in the middle of the
Because
place,
here there is no sewage system. Everybody's got septic tanks, don't they?
supposedly.
Supposedly.
I don't know. I used to think I think the McDonald's stuff used to just run off from McDonald's all the way down to the frontage. I don't know.
Into the ocean?
Yeah. I mean, they say down, if you go all the way down to the end of Silliman Beach, I knew somebody whose dad was a fisherman down there, said it's like an oil slick out there from all the restaurants dumping their stuff directly into the water.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. We're lucky here. The water's crystal clear. You and I just got out of the ocean 5 minutes
It
ago.
is. It is incredibly clean here. Yeah. But I was going to say, this is turning into a disjointed interview, but that's all right, is that if you fly into Manila and there's nowhere to go,
Yeah.
it's a huge area, there's nowhere to go in Luzon, really, without going a long way to get to the beach, okay? But you can take a bus down to Batangas, take a fast ferry over to Mindoro, and you can go to Sabang and White Beach, and it's a really nice beach vacation that you can go to easily from Manila.
So
And
you
I
didn't take
I
your bike with
recommend
you,
that.
did you?
No.
Yeah, no.
So I flew to Manila. I flew to Manila,
Okay.
and I immediately took a taxi to the bus station that I knew would go there.
Okay.
I took the bus there. You can get a van or a taxi. The taxi driver quoted me like, I think it was like 3,000 pesos or something to take me there. I said, that's all right. I wasn't rushed. I had scheduled it out. I went down, I got the Galerian fast ferry. It's like 45 minutes. And then once you're there, you can just get a trike or a three-wheeler, and you either go to Sabang or you go to White Beach, and they're like little bars and restaurants. You get decent food. There's a guy who has a place called Not Just Coffee. Really interesting guy, interesting background. I had like lamb skewers, and I had anyway. The food was great, so you know, it's a good place to go.
Yeah, you were gone for what, a month?
I was gone the first trip for 2 weeks. Part of the time I was in Mindoro, and then I went to Manila, and I was in Manila for about 5 days in BGC.
Oh, nice there.
Which I hadn't seen for a while. Yeah,
I really like that place.
Yeah, near St. Luke's, and I stayed in this hotel called Hotel 101, right next to this glittering mall, Azure Mall or something. And there's insane traffic there, but I could just walk down to the mall if I wanted, or I could walk this other way, and I get into this, like, they call it High Street in PGC, and it's just like this. There's no traffic this way, but there is cross traffic when you come to the cross streets. And
I've done the street.
Yeah, it's just
I've
like
done that.
restaurants
Yeah,
and
it's nice.
you know, and this and that, and there are people on electric scooters buzzing around, and it's just like a beautiful
It's a
scene.
yeah, very nice.
Really,
Yeah.
really nice. I mean, it was so nice. I used to poo-poo a BGC. Oh yeah, it looks like anywhere else. No, it doesn't, because it's like built up with a lot of different architecture. Pretty nice looking buildings, a lot of them. And then there's
All the
a lot
wires
of,
underground too,
What's
which is
that?
nice. All the wires are
yeah,
underground.
and there's a lot of greenery too.
Yeah, a lot
there's
of greenery.
plantings, and it's like, it's nice. It's
No
really
stray
nice.
dogs, you know.
No, it's a really nice modern city. And you know, you see supercars there, and you see that's where the wealth is. You know?
Yeah, I saw a Bentley dealership there, I think.
There is a Bentley dealership. There's also we saw a Lotus, we saw
Porsche.
a Porsche dealership. There was a Maserati dealership. If you look, or no, I'm sorry, a Lamborghini. Right down from that Bentley, there was a Lamborghini dealership.
So there's some money there.
The guy let us in, and you open the door, and you can walk into all of them. They're all connected.
Oh wow.
So.
You think you could ever live there in BGC?
I don't want to live in the big city.
Yeah, I
man.
don't
I ain't
either.
a big city dude.
I like to visit, but I don't want to live there.
If you like that scene, you like that modern city scene where any kind of food, any kind of whatever, you know, the great hospital, St. Luke's, it's like concierge service. And
Is that hospital connected with Mayo Clinic? Somebody said,
I don't know.
I thought there was
I don't know.
someone told me that they were connected to a big hospital in America somehow.
Yeah. And then we went out, and there was like a really top of the line hotel. We're looking for this burger place, and it was like this specialty burger place with Wagyu burgers, you know, really expensive. They were really good though. And we're in there, and people are like doing business on their phone, like young, good-looking guys from God only knows what country, talking about doing some deals and stuff and all. So it's like a scene, you know what I mean? It's really a scene there. And if you're the right age or have the right amount of money, it's cool, you
Yeah.
know. And you see, of course, beautiful people. You
Yeah.
see a lot of well-dressed, well-to-do people, men and women. Mainly the women, of course, is what I was noticing. And you know, it's a good scene. I would recommend popping over to BGC. It's only 200 pesos from the airport.
Yeah. It's because in the Philippines, the thing about the Philippines, what I've noticed is that everywhere you go, it's kind of the same. Area's based the same. That's what I liked about BGC. It was a totally different vibe, totally different infrastructure, you know, at a whole nother level.
Absolutely. Well, it's you know, we're used to this sort of semi-rural, you know, palm trees, green, and a blue ocean. I mean, that's the theme here in the Philippines, and not particularly attractive buildings and all this and that, right? So that's what it is. So you go there, you know. When I first got to Manila, I was in their Ermita area, or Malate they call it, and it's so horrible and run down. It's just disgusting. And so then the next move, but that's where the embassy is, and that's where that used to be the heart of commerce in Manila, right? And so, so then they created Makati, okay? And you have Glorieta Mall, and you have a lot of glittering shops and restaurants and businesses. Now that looks old and tired compared to BGC. All right, and then the other one is down by Mall of Asia. You have a whole new cluster of condos and businesses and all that, and that's developing. So the thing in the Philippines is not to go back and fix the old stuff, which is disastrous.
Yeah.
They just let it go all the way down, so it's sewage running through the street basically, and they just create a new area and make it wonderful. Another area in Manila that's very modern that most people don't know is called Rockwell. It's also another, like a private development, beautiful condos. There's a really nice mall there. I think it's called the Powerhouse or something like that. So there are these little pockets of modernity, let's say, in terms of like a comparable to Bangkok almost, only more modern. And so if that's what you want, that's here. But I think most people probably are looking for something more adventuresome or more beach and sun and surf.
I think BGC is a good place for an older person who wants to have a good hospital and easy to get around and clean and, you know, a lot of stuff to do that within walking distance.
If you got $1,000 a month, you can get a nice condo there, and you'll have everything.
Yeah, I
You'll
heard
have
that.
everything that you would have in an American modern city and more in some cases.
For a fraction of the price.
Yeah, and you can get somebody a full-time helper for small money.
Yeah, yeah. So where's you got any plans to go anyplace else next or another trip or?
I don't know. I might take a little trip around South Cebu, maybe back to Cebu. I really don't have any plans to go anywhere in the Philippines right now, other than I'm going to go to Masbate, go to my property.
You ever thought about going to Kuala
Masbate.
Lumpur, Malaysia?
I've been there.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. Great food.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun attractions there. You know, a 3 or 4 night trip to Kuala Lumpur, wonderful. Food everywhere is great.
I was there like in the 80s. That's the only time
Yeah.
I've ever been there. I hardly remember it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's even late night, even a fun little tiny late night place, you can get great food. But
How about Vietnam? Have you been there?
No.
Is that on your list of places to go?
You know, I'm getting older now. I'm not sure I can. I want to make the effort anymore. The only thing that I'm looking forward to is like a 2-week food vacation in Thailand.
That'd be nice, yeah.
I could see going back to Kuala Lumpur because I really like it there too. Bali I've been to. I don't think I'd go back to Bali at this point. Indonesia and Vietnam, maybe I'll still want to go there.
I'd like to go to Cambodia, but just because I'm interested in Angkor Wat.
I've
Like
been
this-
there.
Oh, have you? Wow.
That's an easy side trip. It used to be very inexpensive. It used to be regular flights from.
Is it amazing as
Cebu.
everybody says it is?
It's an old pile of rock in the sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting, and there's ruins all around there. The whole history of that place is interesting. You know, they tried to make peace between the Muslims and the Hindus, and wherever there's a bridge that has the 2 gods, one on either side of the bridge. Whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really interesting place, and there's a lot of tremendous ruins in them outside of Angkor Wat. Like I said, it's just like a big, hot gray thing in the sun. But there's a lot of little.
It was all covered in jungle. Didn't they discover it
Yeah.
like at one time
Yeah.
not too far ago?
Well, I mean, and the Vietnamese and the Cambodians, I think they fought over at one point even.
Huh.
You know, Cambodia is like just a little tail. The Khmer Empire was huge at one time. They've lost like 4 wars in a row or something. They've lost all these chunks to the neighboring countries.
That's where Pol Pot was in the
Yes.
killing fields and all that.
And a lot of you people, like this tour guide that was taking us around, he's an orphan. He was raised by the monks. You know, there's a huge overhang of all that.
That happened right after Vietnam, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So it's a weird place, but it's a great trip. I mean, Siem Reap is where you go. Siem Reap is where you have access to Angkor Wat, and it's a cute little town. But you know, if you go to the place there that has live band, it's Filipina band.
That's funny. How about you been to Japan?
I have.
How'd you like
A
Japan?
long time ago. I liked it a lot. My brother and I, a couple of yokels not knowing any better, we went to the fish market and just wandered in, which you're not supposed to do. You know, it's that gigantic fish market that's famous. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
about it
same
or
with the
not.
tuna and stuff.
Yeah, everything. Literally everything. We just roamed around, took pictures and everything. And I had a great time there. It's really interesting. You have these really distinctive neighborhoods in Japan, you know? So you're here, this is the nightclub district, and then you're here, this is the electronic shopping district, and whatever. It's really cool. I enjoyed it. We went to Kyoto and toured around, and all the little kids at the time, little schoolgirls, they wanted to get their pictures with us, and some kid wanted to hang around, give us a free tour so that he could work on his English, you know, like that. It was really fun.
Nice.
People were nice.
Yeah, I've never been there. I always wanted
And
to go.
you could go get some sashimi. I don't know if you like sashimi and all that, but you could just go into a little market and get like a little tray of fresh sashimi if you're into that. So
How about Korea, South Korea? You been there?
only through the airport.
Yeah, me too.
I'd like to go there.
Yeah.
I'd like to go there and
They
see.
got some great street food there, I heard.
I'm sure they did. Well, I watched the shows.
Yeah, I watched
about
the- I
that,
watched
yeah.
the same shows.
I'm like, damn, man, that looks so good.
It looks really good.
Yeah, yeah, they have a great food culture in Korea. I'd love to go there just for that, almost. I'd also like to go to the museum that has all that artifacts that the army took with it back from the mainland. It's supposed to have incredible
Oh, really?
Chinese artifacts, yeah,
Oh, I
which
didn't
of
know
course
that.
the communists would like to have back.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah,
Wow. All right, well, I guess I've used enough of your time, and thanks so much for sharing your knowledge with everything. And
you're gonna have to cut this up. a
no,
little
I'm
bit.
not going to cut it at all. I like
It's a
everything.
long ramble, man.
It's not a wrong one. You always have good information. I like having smart.
Whether or not it's-
I like having smart friends.
Whether or not the information is accurate is another matter.
No.
But
Anyway,
I rem-
it was really good. So anyway, everybody, thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Bye.